Well, data science is obviously about the study of data. But what actually is data? Well, let's start with a simple example. This is Rosie. She's a middle school student who makes a little spare money by running a lemonade stand in her spare time. Now, because she's smart, Rosie keeps careful records so that she can analyse her performance as a lemonade entrepreneur. And these records include data about the day, the weather, how many flyers she distributed, the price she charged for lemonade, and the number of sales she made. These data points make up the fields for each record in a data set that tracks her historic lemonade selling activity. Well, let's take a closer look at these fields. The first column contains dates. This is a special type of data that represents temporal values, that is, dates and times. There's a specific order associated with temporal data. So for example, we know that January 2nd comes after January 1st, but before January 3rd. We can perform calculations on dates and times, but they're not quite the same as normal arithmetic operations that we do with ordinary numbers. Now the next column is the weekday. And this is an example of text data, sometimes called character or string data. Often we think of this type of data as being categorical. In other words, it describes categories of record. In this case, we can categorize our sales records based on which day of the week they relate to. The remaining fields are numeric. They contain numbers. But there are different kinds of numeric field that we should consider. Temperature and rainfall are continuous. In other words, they're measurements on a scale. Sales and flyers, on the other hand, are discrete. We count them rather than measure them. Rosie can't make 10.5 sales, for example. But what about price? It's got some fractional values, so we might treat it as continuous. But on the other hand, there seems to be only a few values that are discrete. We can choose to treat this column however best makes sense for the type of analysis we want to perform. For example, we could even use it as a categorical variable to compare sales of lemonade based on different daily price categories. The key point is that it's important to understand the fields in your data and the kind of information that they hold.